Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, China Center for Information and Industry Development has released its latest crypto project ranking. TRON and EOS top the list out of 35 crypto projects evaluated, while Bitcoin has been downgraded slightly. The center also evaluated the projects independently based on basic technology, applicability, and creativity. Here's the actual list right here. For those who are not looking at the screen, the top ranked cryptocurrency projects, according to China, are EOS, TRON, Ethereum, BitShares, Nebulous, Ontology, Nulls, GX Chain, Neo, Steam, Waves, Lisk, Stellar, Komodo, Bitcoin, Quantum, Tezos, XRP, ARC, Ethereum Classic, and then the list kind of continues to go on. Very interesting rankings. A lot of people, I think some people don't care for the rankings, especially, if your top coins aren't thrown at the top or the coins that you hold the most of, it may not be a nice feeling. I can kind of just say it that way. But it's kind of interesting to see exactly, this started coming out sometime in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, when China started giving us rankings of cryptocurrencies. The most interesting part is that this is around the same exact time when cryptocurrencies were banned, or we knew them as being banned inside of China, and now it seems the tide is shifting slightly. I'm not expecting anything good from China anytime soon as far as them allowing or reinstating the usage of cryptocurrencies within their country, simply because they have so many tight capital controls that I don't think they're going to loosen up anytime soon. However, it's interesting to see that the top 3 platforms are also the top smart contract platforms, or like DApp platforms, if you kind of want to say that. EOS has been #1 for a very long time. TRON wasn't there at all before, and then it completely just like flew into second place. I know that makes a lot of people very happy. I'm actually still surprised that Ethereum is there at all, or at least kind of that high up. I think what it does is it's the creativity that's pushing Ethereum up, because the basic technology for Ethereum is, it says BitShares is even better than Ethereum, which is kind of insane. People always get upset because Bitcoin isn't, the #1, but it has. We all know general consensus. We all know Bitcoin's slow. Bitcoin itself, the main chain, is probably not going to scale because people don't want to touch the actual main chain to mess it up in any way. This is why we have all the other solutions. So Bitcoin is probably going to be down here for quite a long amount of time, especially when it comes down to basic tech that's on the actual main blockchain. But I wonder if this is actually going to get mixed up or changed anytime soon. The lists are fairly not similar. It's just we kind of have a situation where some of the lower coins probably don't have a chance to really jump up anytime soon. Anyway, let's move on. Next up is a cryptocurrency exchange called Rain in the Middle East. They have just recently added XRP to their website. Here's the actual Rain website. Oh, maybe not. Okay, it says early access. Anyway, I guess they have not opened yet. But what's interesting here is that there has been, I'm not in the Middle East, so I can't exactly tell you what's been going on. People have been trying to figure out things that are compliant within the Middle East, and this is kind of a huge head nod, if you will, because we had a situation in 2018 where a lot of coins, or rather in the Middle East, there was a situation where people weren't allowed to deal in cryptocurrencies because people were trying to find out if they were legal or compliant. And any coin that kind of gets added to a Middle Eastern cryptocurrency exchange, then kind of, like I said, has a little hat tip to the side, as you can use this over here. I guess it hasn't been fully launched yet, but don't be fooled. The Middle East is most of the Middle East is wealthy. I didn't know how else to really phrase that. So when they get into the cryptocurrency game officially, it's going to be monstrous, if you kind of want to say that. They have the money that a lot of other places don't. So you can kind of assume where the market will go when we have big money being thrown into it. Anyway, let's move on. Bakkt is actually in the news today. Intercontinental Exchanges, to be launched institutional trading platform known as Bakkt, has earned a $740 million US valuation after it raised over $180 million in funding last year, anonymous sources told The Block. Bakkt, which has yet to launch any investment products and continues to liaise with regulators, could increase its valuation even further should it raise further funds. At the same time, the sources said questions among investors remain about their risk-return ratio, given Bakkt has yet to get the official go-ahead to launch and will operate on different terms from traditional platforms. From a cash flow perspective, Bakkt will not be earning much based on their proposed contract fees, so they really need a lot of volume. A lot of the things we need to line up for investors to receive returns that they would typically expect for an A series. As reported, U.S. regulator, the Commodity Futures and Trading Commission, the CFTC, remains in talks to iron out kinks in Bakkt's operation, which has seen its debut since been pushed back several times. So that's a pretty crazy valuation for something that hasn't really even launched. Just going based off of the potential of what they could make in the future. A lot of people just pay attention to their physical Bitcoin futures thing. They've also noted before in the past that they're also going to try and have physical futures for other coins. I think it was the NASDAQ who said that they're not going to be doing, or was it Fidelity? Someone said that they wouldn't be touching Ethereum anytime soon, but that does not mean that the New York Stock Exchange won't be adding Ethereum futures or XRP futures, maybe Litecoin futures somewhere up in there as well. And I think eventually, rather, also part of it as well is going to be a cryptocurrency trading desk. So I imagine being like, oh my gosh, how much money is going to flow through this system. And what I'm interested to see is, and this is me personally, I don't know if this has actually caught anyone else's mind. When you talk about the volume that's flowing through these other spaces, you typically refer to coin market cap, and it shows, you know, how many exchanges are there, how many so and so and so. I wonder if they're going to actually add the volume from the New York Stock Exchange, because what I've seen myself, and I don't use CoinMarketCap anymore, so I can't even, you know, properly tell you. A lot of places try not to add the metrics from larger financial institutions or people from the old traditional financial world. I'm going to assume that they eventually are, because money's money, and, you know, money talks. But when we do finally get these things up and running, and we see the actual volume that's being pushed through exclusively, and that's, I mean, not even talking about the other places that are going to launch. Like, if you've noticed, I've noticed, especially because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the German stock exchange already has their crypto exchange up and running, but I don't see this metric on any other exchange, like any other coin price website, which is kind of weird, because they are also trading cryptocurrencies. Like, if we had proper metrics, or if we do eventually have them in the future, for the New York Stock Exchange, for the NASDAQ, for the German stock exchange, the Jamaican one, Japanese one, whoever else is creating their own crypto exchange, if we had those, I mean, they would probably become one overnight. But I have it's a really weird feeling that the crypto places that we've become familiar with to get our prices aren't going to list their actual volume, because it would dwarf things like Coinbase and things like Gemini. But it would be really important to have them as well, because they are trading cryptocurrencies, and they probably are going to be doing billions upon billions of dollars per day. Anyway, I'm rambling on, but you get it. Like, you kind of hopefully get what I'm saying. Anyway, right, let's move on. Next up, Overstock's security token platform known as tZero is going full crypto. Until now, security tokens had been the startup's priority, but this summer, tZero plans to launch its own mobile trading app for buying and selling Bitcoin and possibly Ether. This was said by CEO Saumnor Saleh. He told CoinDesk this a couple days ago. The app for iOS and Android devices is scheduled to launch in June and is being developed by Bitsy, a crypto startup in the portfolio of Overstock's venture arm, Medici Ventures. That's part of the reason we acquired Bitsy, to accelerate time to the market for our mobile app. They have an app for crypto trading, primarily Bitcoin. In the beta phase, they built a wallet and key recovery mechanism, and this will be the foundation of the mobile app for tZero. They are also working on some cool stuff like biometric login. Overstock has evolved greatly, and they did what Blockbuster couldn't. For those who know what Blockbuster even is, they saw that there was a change coming. They decided to jump on the ship, and they got one of the first tickets Overstock used to be like a really weird Amazon, eBay. They weren't the first in line for that, so they now are jumping deep into the cryptocurrency space. They created their own crypto, or rather a security exchange known as tZero, where they announced that they would only be listing security tokens. That's pretty much anything that's on a stock market that's digitized. What I think happened was there's not a huge market for security tokens at the moment. We don't have this mega digitized, securitized world where, you know, you own 1/25th of a car, or this luxury place in Manhattan somewhere is, you know, divvied up to 1,000 people. We don't live in that world quite yet. However, we do live in a world where people like to trade Bitcoin and Ether back and forth. So this is why I think they're also doing this as well. I mean, anything to increase your profits, right? Kind of got to, you know, kind of got to follow the crowd. But yeah, this is going to be, I mean, I don't know how large they're going to be. They will definitely have some trading volume, but I don't think Overstock is going to eclipse Coinbase, Kraken, or Binance anytime soon. But good luck to them. It's nice to hear that they are going at this full force. Let's move on. Next up, here's a really good one. Bitcoin market dominance, or Bitcoin's percentage of total market cap, may not be the best way to get an accurate picture of the market. There are certain Bitcoin metrics that we all understand: the price, the circulating supply, the market cap, and then there's market dominance, which is Bitcoin's percentage of the total market cap of all cryptocurrencies. But what if we're all wrong? When considering Bitcoin's market dominance, we generally go to the measure used by CoinMarketCap. But whilst comparing Bitcoin to the total market cap certainly gives us market share, maybe dominance should include other factors. This was the theory by John Paul Thorbjornsen. He said after feeling the current 50% dominance score didn't give a true representation, a better reflection of Bitcoin's dominance, he suggested might include some measure of liquidity or daily trading volume as well. His research revolved around the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, that states that 80% of the effect comes from the 20% of the causes, or in this case, that 20% of the cryptocurrencies should dominate 80% of the market. Here's a little chart right here. According to him, he's saying that apparently CoinMarketCap is wrong. And to be fair, this is not the first time that people have had this discussion specifically about CoinMarketCap. For some reason, CoinMarketCap is the largest place where people go to get their cryptocurrency prices. They're awful. They don't really care about cryptocurrency prices. They kind of do what they want to do at any given time. They kind of throw their own metrics around. They include and exclude cryptocurrency exchanges around the world simply because they feel like that they should not be added, which is kind of insane. Like, if you are a cryptocurrency exchange, and even if you're just trading, you know, 15,000 per day, what have you, my opinion, this is still $15,000 that's flowing through the cryptocurrency market. However, that aside, we kind of go by the metrics that CoinMarketCap invented because they weren't the first, but they were one of the first, and they're one of the most popular cryptocurrency price places that we have right now, and this is why we kind of go by their metrics. This does make a bit more sense if you're going to kind of go on liquidity, how much is actually flowing through the market at any given time, how much daily trading volume that they have. Is, you know, we've seen Bitcoin's volume sometimes over $10 billion, and there are other coins that have like 15 million, 38.6 million. It does kind of make a lot of sense. I don't think things are going to change anytime soon. To be fair, I mean, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's clearly dominating. Even if they had like a do you know me metric, and you had to like ask people on the streets, do you know what a Tezos is? Do you know what an Omise Go is? Do you know what a Bitcoin is? Bitcoin has this huge sway to it. And this is why I personally don't believe that Bitcoin is going anywhere anytime soon, especially not down to zero. But it would be interesting if there were other websites popping up that did show different metrics as to exactly how much of a dominance that Bitcoin actually has on the market. Will that happen anytime soon? Probably not. Most people are lazy. Most people don't really want to create things for the cryptocurrency space. Is in my opinion, that's kind of how I feel about it. It would be very weird if we did have metrics like that and we constantly saw that all the time. That imagine a situation where if it's 50-50 right now, and you can mathematically show that Bitcoin's dominance is actually 80, as opposed to the 50 where it is right now. Imagine if Bitcoin's dominance went to like 70% on our metrics, and then it ended up on their metrics, ended up showing like a 99.5% domination. That'd be kind of crazy. Anyway, let's move on. To kind of finish things off, Russia's once again in the news. The State Duma of the Russian Federation has deferred consideration of the bill on digital financial assets to April 2019. This was said by local media news report outlet known as TASS. The second reading of the draft federal law on digital financial assets has reportedly been rescheduled for April, following a decision made at the morning voting on the agenda of the plenary session. The initiative was taken by the chairman of the State Duma Committee on Financial Markets, Anatoly Aksakov. Although he did not explain his motives, the bill on digital financial assets aims to formulate national cryptocurrency legislation and was adopted by Russia's parliament in the second earlier, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Russia has been, I mean, every other country has, but because Russia's on the screen, Russia has been stalling when it comes to cryptocurrency. They're the same, and this is why we're very, very close. India is supposed to give us cryptocurrency regulations sometime next week. Russia has said that they were going, first of all, Russia said that they were going to ban cryptocurrencies in 2017. Lo and behold, they didn't. And then they mentioned in 2018 that they were going to give regulation on cryptocurrencies by the middle of 2018. Can you guess what happened? They didn't. And even by the end of 2018, they say, yeah, we're going to do something. And at the beginning of this year, they said that they were drafting something that has to go through multiple stages. I think they have a parliament, Duma, whatever you want to call it, go through multiple stages and constant checks and balances for something that they can read once and kind of just, you know, let it go through. But what's interesting about, there was a spider on my arm. What's interesting about Russia is that their laws have been slightly different than other places around the world. What they have going on is that they're trying to make it so that only the rich or accredited investors, as they call them, have the free will to be able to buy and sell as much cryptocurrency as they want. On the other side, they're trying to have people who haven't, what was it? It was like a week or two ago where we had the news that they were like, people who have not taken like 2 years of classes or something ridiculous like that don't have the option to be able to buy and sell as much crypto as they want. And I think you can only buy like, was it like $6,000-$7,000 per year of crypto without having these licenses. Kind of is what it is. I think everyone's stalling. I wish they would stop stalling. I wish we would. I wish and hope that governments would just kind of, I'm tired, and I'm tired of reading about governments. I'm tired of reading news that we're going to get something on the 14th of this date, and then we have, you know, news that, oh no, they're doing it again. They're pushing it once again back to April. I think if we would be a lot further in the cryptocurrency space if countries just kind of got the let out. You know, they are governments. They can change laws as quickly or slowly as they want to just kind of give the cryptocurrency regulations. So much of me believes that so much of this is being done simply because they're trying to make it easier for other rich, like they're trying to tweak it in such a way that normal people don't get upset by their limitations, but that rich people are completely okay with having no limitations at all. It's kind of how I feel, and this is not only for Russia, this is for every country in the world. I feel like all the regulation that we've been having has been trying to, they're more concerned with, if you remember 2018 where we had this huge rhetoric going around, and I know you remember this if you were here, everything was just for institutional investors, and this is part of why I think that Coinbase is losing its mind. Everyone was so focused on getting rid of us and just worrying about institutional investors, and then the institutional investor flow, where are they? They didn't appear in 2018. Prices haven't skyrocketed up, and now I think governments are trying to do the exact same thing. I mean, to be fair, most laws in most countries are the exact same way. You cater to the rich without worrying about the other 7.5 billion people on the planet who aren't rich. Anyway. Didn't mean to dig too deep on that one, but you kind of get what I'm talking about. Eventually, at some point, at some moment in time, these governments do have to give us regulation that they've been so talking about for so long and how they needed to do this. It's going to happen eventually. It's just a matter of when at this point. Anyway, that is definitely going to do it for this video. Yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Hope it's absolutely fantastic. as in always, I'm falling apart. As always, very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Do this in one breath. I think I can. Okay. Vlad the Impaler, Gilboa Snake, Rai, Brady Niels, L Doug, Arthur Yaku, Professor Wally from Gunabot University, Nick Mangelavori, Travis Haynes, Yasha Harari, Anthony Charles, Nick Kanaya, singer-songwriter Mike Savage, Wise Night Owl, Joey Carafa, Crypto Joe, Jim Gardner, Jared Schneider, Jeremy Fox, Amy, Star Sheen, Richie Richard III, Jeffrey Ramsey, Cody, Carl Borchanoff, Paxis, Jeffrey Dam, couldn't do it. Nicholas, One Earth, One Peace, One Love, Setsuna, Minting Coins, Crypnotic, RF Dusty, ShaolinFriedRice.com. An incredibly large, gigantic thank you to all of you for your patronage and for your generosities. Thank you all very much once again. And yeah, I'll talk to you all soon. See you.